You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
Welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday. Welcome, everybody. Michael Hauser, welcome. I hope everyone's doing well. Folks, before we get started, once again, I am once again announcing that next week, the streams will be limited next week. We will see if we can pull off a Monday and Tuesday stream. But that sounds like about it. We'll see what kind of situation we find ourselves in. I had to recover from yesterday's stream. Yeah, it was a lot of people. That was a lot of people. That's okay. We made it. Before we get started, folks, as I see some folks trickling in, thank you all. Thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. Huge shout out to Lance from the Surfs. Thank you for yesterday's massive raid. I appreciate it. Thank you to the Letter Hack for stopping by. I appreciate that. Thank you. Before we get started, folks, just the usual announcements. First and foremost, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. You guys are what makes this channel go. So if you want to support the channel, please continue doing what you're doing. Keep liking the stream. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. We just made it over 300 and we just made it to 313 subscribers. Follow us here on Twitch. Spread the word. We're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to support the channel directly, there's a couple of ways of doing it. Join the Substack, which is completely free. Check out the merch store and the exclamation mark tip to support the channel directly. Ladybug, welcome. I appreciate it, folks. If you want to keep up with the channel, also hit up the Discord. It is a perfect way of keeping up with the channel. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's get started. Let's get started, folks. We're going to get a quick laugh, okay, out of Elon Musk's stocks declining. Because why not? We deserve that.
He's paying the price for taking the lead. He's paying the price for taking the lead. Progressives, who frankly hate him, are holding protests outside Tesla dealerships all around the country.
Yeah, dude. He's taking one for the team, man. Okay.
They're trying to ruin his business. Charging stations have been vandalized and burned. Demand for Tesla cars in Europe plunged after Elon tried to influence politics over there.
Yeah, skill issue, dude. Yeah, imagine like your stocks take a hit. Your stocks take a hit because you're trying to meddle in that country's elections. Echo Rester Dragon, welcome. And FYI, Cybertrucks do not float. No, they do not. Yeah, nuclear scientists.
The stock price has plummeted, costing Musk personally $132 billion.
I hate what they're doing to this guy.
Wait. I got one.
A friend of mine has a Tesla.
I got one.
I've driven it. I loved it. It's a great car.
Got one.
And I just frankly want to support someone who's given up an awful lot to help our president.
If you guys will join me, just to push back, can we all buy a Tesla? Let's all go buy a Tesla.
People ought to be kissing the feet of Elon Musk and Donald Trump for being the two people to actually do this. He is going to.
They do catch fire easily. Yeah, true. And once they do catch fire, it's it's a death trap. Let me tell you. They do hold in dog poop. Good.
To be viewing a Tesla that is making its way to the White House complex now, I can confirm. Perhaps the press pool today will have an opportunity to witness this very exciting moment later this afternoon. But Tesla.
Wait. I have a question. And you know, I'm gonna have to do research, but that feels illegal, right? Because like the purpose of making this public stunt is to shore up Tesla stock, right? Like that's why Trump bought this and made it very public. That shouldn't be, right? Like if Trump would buy like a Tesla, right? Like just privately, right? Because he just wants a personal death machine, I guess. Because he wants like the crappiest electric car out there, fine. Whatever. But this complete PR stunt is only can only be interpreted as a way of like pumping up Tesla stock, which yeah, that seems not legal, 100% illegal. Because President Musk also Trump bought a car and he can never drive it.
A Tesla.
Oh yeah, the president can't drive, basically, right? Like basically he has to like be shuttled around because of Secret Service and whatnot.
Is on its way here now, and we'll see if the president likes it when he checks it out.
Well, it seems like Elon Musk is finally starting to feel the heat, so much so that Donald Trump and Fox News are now love-bombing him to boost his spirits and to try to counter the Tesla boycott that's caused his company's shares to plummet by 15%.
Like, when are the actual like shareholders gonna step in and remove Elon Musk, right? Because like if I was Tesla, right? If I was Tesla, I would be doing everything in my power to get a board of directors meeting or shareholders meeting, whatever, to try to remove this guy because he legally has a fiduciary responsibility to make line go up, and currently line is not going up. He doesn't know how to drive. Has he driven ever? Unclear. He grew up rich in New York City.
Which has also cost Musk himself billions of dollars. Hey, Elon, my heart goes out to you, bud.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like coming out as a Nazi and endorsing a neo-Nazi party in Germany and cozying up to white supremacists and attacking Social Security and firing veterans and illegally destroying our federal government is bad for business. And ironically, he bought himself this job in Trump's administration to hollow out the agencies that were regulating his company so he could increase.
Go unwoke? Go broke? I don't know the reverse of the stupid slogan. Go woke, go broke.
Profits. So if the backlash to dope.
Go fast, get crashed? I don't know. Go fast, stocks crash? I don't know. A for effort.
Ends up costing him more money in the end. That, my friends, would be beautifully poetic. Fuck around and find out, as they say. But Trump apparently feels so bad for Elon Musk that he's seemingly trying to convince us that it is illegal to not buy Teslas. And I say this because on Truth Social, he praised Elon Musk and addressed the backlash that he's receiving while claiming that the left is trying to, quote, illegally boycott Tesla.
Yeah, there's no such thing as illegally boycotting. Okay, that's not a thing. Like, if I don't want, like, just to be clear, this is supposed to be the party of free markets, right? Okay. So under the framing of capitalism, You are allowed to not buy a product simply because you don't want to. End of story. Right? Like, if I don't want to buy a Tesla, okay, then like no one's going to force me to buy a Tesla. If I want to boycott a Tesla because Elon Musk is going around Nazi saluting and shoring up modern day Nazi parties, then like, yeah, dude, I'm not going to buy a Tesla. Okay? There's no law in the books that says I cannot, that says that I have to buy a Tesla.
To do harm to Elon Musk. And to that I say, yeah, that's kind of the point of a boycott, is it not? An economic boycott is protected speech under the First Amendment, yet Donald Trump is claiming that it's illegal when it's not. Now, does this mean that he might actually try to criminalize boycotts against Tesla? I mean, that's
Probably not.
possible, because he already said that he's going to designate vandalism and destruction of property at Tesla dealerships as domestic terrorism. So I don't think it's necessarily absurd to think that he'd try to criminalize peaceful protests against Musk as well. And I mean, 38 states already have anti-BDS laws on the books, so if American citizens already don't have the right to boycott a foreign government, it's not a stretch to think that they could soon also lose the right to boycott corporations too. On top of that, Musk is literally suing corporations like Lego and Nestle for not buying ads on Twitter, and he's accused them of an advertising boycott when that wouldn't be illegal even if that's what they were doing. This is how
Yeah. Phenomenal.
the free market works. And I feel like capitalists, of all people, should know that, right?
Maybe because like they actually fundamentally don't care, right? Like maybe they recognize that the free market doesn't exist. Maybe they recognize that the state actually controls the market. The only reason they have like this veneer, right, that they like to put on of like, oh, freedom, whatever, it's just like a farce, a mask, right, that comes off the moment it becomes inconvenient.
I shouldn't have to explain this to them. They should know that. Regardless, Trump doesn't think that Americans have the right to protest with their wallets, so he is lashing out. And on top of that, he's also coddling Elon Musk by buying a Tesla to boost his morale.
Hello, President Trump. Are you looking to buy or lease today?
Well, I'm going to buy. And I'm going to buy because, number one, it's a great product, as good as it gets.
It's not. Like, you can tell, like, okay, you can tell that just by like reversing whatever Trump says, right? So if Trump says Tesla is a good product, you can guarantee that it is not a good product. Also, there's a lot of evidence to prove that. If Trump says we're not going into a recession, then like you can probably bet real American dollars that we're probably going into a recession.
And number two, because this man has devoted his energy and his life to doing this. And I think he's been treated very unfairly by a very small group of people.
Treated very unfairly. Bro is at the top of the top. Bro is like basically the shadow president. But okay. Teslas are as good as a degree from Trump.
There's nobody like this, and he should
Nobody
be penalized.
like this.
And when I watched the other day, I said, I can't believe it. It should be the opposite. People should be going wild, and they love the product, but because he's
A Nazi, yes, because he's a Nazi.
finding all sorts of terrible things that have taken place against our country, they want to penalize him in an economic sense, and I just think that's very unfair.
Well, too fucking bad. But how pathetic is it that the president of the United States is performatively buying a car he's not even going to drive just to boost the ego of the world's richest man?
Right, like, just to be clear, like, President Trump buying, like, what, was it 3 Teslas? Is that he ended up buying, right? Like, 1 Cybertruck and, like, 2 others or something like that? Or was it that he picked 1 and was offered 3? I don't know how that stunt went down, but it doesn't matter. Even if he bought all 3 or just 1, like, that is a drop in the bucket, okay, for someone like Elon Musk, okay? So the only explanation is, as I was saying before, that he's just trying to publicly boost the stock of Tesla for Elon Musk, which is worth way more to him than the purchase of 1 or even 3 cars.
Everyone's been so mean to Elon, but he's a good boy. He's a very good boy. And to reward him for being a
goodest
good
of
boy,
boys.
I'm going to buy one of his cars from him. It is embarrassing. It is so pathetic. Turns out the fuck your feelings crowd were the biggest snowflakes all along. And let's not pretend, by the way, that this isn't disgustingly corrupt. The president is basically doing an ad read for the biggest donor to his campaign. It feels like a new low, even for the United States. But they should be thankful that most people are only calling for people to not buy Tesla, because there are others who are protesting at Tesla dealerships around the country to make sure that people can't buy them because they can't sell them.
The Offspring. Supercharged worldwide in 25. One unforgettable summer night.
For example, protesters in Manhattan shut down a Tesla dealership by occupying showrooms, leading to 6 of them being arrested. And in Chicago, another massive protest broke out in front of a Tesla dealership where people were chanting, "Launch Musk to Mars," "Fuck Musk," and "Democracy dies with Doge." And at these protests, people were drawing Hitler mustaches on Elon Musk masks that they made while sig-heiling, just to inform customers that this is the person that they're supporting if they buy from Tesla.
I mean, 0 lies detected. Heat, how's it going? Imagine Biden pushing ED pills, or Obama pushing tan Armani suits, or Bush pushing hooked on phonics. Yeah, I know, right? You know, reminiscing back to the days, back to the good old days where we had just like Bush, right?
To mention, an army of cops were pictured outside of a Tesla dealership in Chicago, which I'm assuming isn't very inviting to potential customers.
Oh, yeah. This is the perfect image. I think I've said this before. This is the perfect image describing like what police actually do, which is protect Capitol, right? Like if you ever wanted a perfect illustration, right, of like what the police does, fundamentally, like the way the police functions right now, their primary best role is to protect Capitol.
But they're increasingly having to dedicate more time, personnel, and resources to protecting Tesla dealerships because of the backlash to Elon Musk. Case in point.
Thank God the police are here to protect the Cybertruck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I thought like the Cybertruck was supposed to be like indestructible. Why would it need police protection? Lady Badass. Okay, but Obama could actually pull off the suit thing because it was on brand. True. I think it was Washington people vandalized Tesla chargers and put Elon's and swastikas. Yeah, I think that there's several places where Tesla chargers were vandalized. I believe dealerships were also vandalized. There was, I think, in Florida, I want to say. This was a while back, though. A bunch of Cybertrucks got got vandalized. What are these cops' favorite taste of shoe polish? Good question. That's actually a good question. Maybe whatever brand of shoe Elon uses, I guess, would be my answer. Moenep, welcome.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cops to protect one Cybertruck. Amazing.
Your tax dollars in action. But to be fair, these cops were just doing their jobs, obviously, which, to be clear, is to serve and protect private property, not...
Right. Exactly. Like, this is perfect illustration of that concept. Oregon gal, welcome. In Oregon, they burned the dealership. There you go. Yeah, there's several incidents around the country regarding Tesla vehicles, dealership, chargers, etc. And white shoe polish. Hey, welcome, Moenep. I see a couple of the YouTube group piling in. Fellow Oregonian. Oregonians don't play.
people. Now, the bootlickers at Fox and Friends, they decided to react to the Tesla dealership protests taking place by throwing a pity party for Elon Musk. And I've got to say, this is pathetic, even for Fox News.
I think I got to take out my violin, don't I?
It's totally okay. The president is overseeing what Elon Musk is doing. And then you got cabinet members that oversee their own organizations, and they have strong opinion as well. So you need these guys to duke it out, and then the president to make the final decision.
Right. There's no doubt about it. Elon Musk is paying a big price with his, he's now in the middle of the fray. And as he was saying over the weekend, he goes, they are doing to me what they do to Trump. They are using the media to try to put the narrative together to make me seem like a Nazi sympathizer. And he says he's really concerned about people listening to this nonstop and fake news about him and his approach, and someone's going to try to kill him. And what they're trying to do is hurt him in his businesses. And they're actually training, we want clear air. We don't want Musk here or something. You idiots. It's an electric car. It's your best bet for clean air. And that.
Not entirely. While electric cars are better than gas, it's Elon's party and he'll cry if he wants to. Yeah, we did. We had a lot of people. We had a big raid from the serfs. We had a big raid from the serfs. Nobody's seen a raid like yesterday's raid. Numbers that you would not believe. Numbers that you would not believe. We had people coming from all kinds of places. YouTube, Twitch, everywhere. Many people have said, okay, that this is the biggest raid that we've ever seen. Clean air means shit when the body furnaces get implemented.
Now they're trying. Yep. Now they have to worry about his charging stations.
Well, from my understanding,
because there's all this type of Nazi stuff spray painted up.
From my understanding, Brian, they had to.
Yeah, I mean, like if you do Nazi stuff, people are going to get upset, right? Can confirm was huge. If you do Nazi stuff, people are going to get upset. Okay? Electricity used to charge EVs still comes from mostly burning wood or coal. That's also true. But, like, I guess, like, where... really what would be ideal is pushing for... is pushing for a system where you have public transportation and kind of limit the amount of automobiles just kind of in general, right? And try to decarbonize the ones that are around. Because even if the electricity is being generated by wood or coal, the automobile itself is not generating that fossil fuel. I mean, like, it's a give and take, right? Like, the amount of minerals and stuff and damage that is incurred, okay, to the environment to make these EVs are also something to take into consideration. Like, it's basically like pick your poison, right? The only reason, like, EVs are better is because, like, the problem is the fossil fuels, right? So while we're taking a hit in the manufacturing of said EVs, like, we don't we try to reduce our dependency on fossil fuels. So it's a give or take. The letter hack, welcome.
Deputize. He uses a security company called Gavin DeBecker famous security organization, have a lot of former military operators that work there. But the Trump administration, the U.S. Marshal Service, which they do sometimes, had to deputize his security detail to protect him now, so they can have more authority, like the federal government, to travel with their firearms everywhere.
Well, and
that shows you the threat.
Elon says it's the most American-made car out there. Most every part of the Tesla is American-made, or the majority of it, more so than any other car, he says, in our own country.
They're putting North Korean state propaganda to shame. First of all, the media isn't doing anything to make it seem like Elon Musk is a Nazi. He's doing that all by himself.
Yeah.
The media didn't make Elon Musk Sig Heil. The media didn't make Elon Musk endorse a neo-Nazi party in Germany. The media didn't make him agree with the white nationalists who blamed Jewish people for importing immigrants who hate white people. People think...
I mean, like, literally, the freaking... That's literally like the great replacement theory. Yeah, folks, by the way, if you haven't already, please go to the Letterhack YouTube channel and go give them a sub.
He's a Nazi because he has repeatedly demonstrated his sympathy for white supremacy and Nazism. And for him, being a climate hero doesn't really make a difference. I mean, they say that he's a climate hero because his company manufactures electric vehicles, so I guess that the left is supposed to worship him. But first and foremost, that's horseshit, as Mother Jones puts it. He not only emits more CO2 emissions in a month from his private jet than families emit for an entire year, he also props up climate deniers, so he's no climate hero. But that doesn't even matter. Even if he was a climate hero, progressives aren't required to worship him because he owns a fucking electric car company. Are you serious? By the way, that's our company. Our tax dollars subsidize all of his corporations.
That's true. The only reason Tesla survived is because, ironically enough, the only reason Tesla even exists right now is because Obama gave him, I don't know how much money. I think it was like something to the tune of what, like some billion something or other. I'm sorry. Obama gave him $465 million. That's what it was. So the stimulus package that was passed was $800 billion. And out of that stimulus package, Tesla got $465 million. He also has rockets that blow up and disrupt air traffic. Yep. Thanks, Obama. Feeling News, welcome, and thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Thanks for the shout out. No problem.
And his employees made that wealth for him, and he stole it from them. He didn't do anything. Billionaires don't make shit. And even if his own emissions were a net zero, guess what? We're still allowed to criticize him and hate him for being a Nazi, since that ideology is notoriously genocidal and evil.
Yeah.
But I love how we're supposed to believe that the richest man in the world, who has unprecedented power, is a victim because people are being mean to him. They're protesting him. Sure thing. We're all weeping for Elon Musk, I can assure you. I'm playing the world's smallest violin right now. You just can't see it. It's super small. But
don't worry, I already got you. Okay?
As bad as the protests might be for business, I'm sure that
I have literally the world's smallest violin. Okay? It was a gift.
even that's preferable to the increased vandalism against Tesla dealerships and vehicles that's becoming increasingly common, because that right there is something that is really going to make the brand toxic. A boycott or a protest, that's temporary. But being embarrassed to drive a Tesla, or not wanting to ever buy a Tesla, or wanting to get rid of a Tesla because, you're worried that somebody might vandalize it, that is something that does long-term damage to a company. And that is becoming a big problem for Tesla. And to show you what I mean, here's just a small compilation from local news reports who've been tracking these occurrences across the country, and they're happening a lot.
Tesla's stock was hit hard with it.
No. That's so sad. Elon Musk should be in jail, and I don't even really believe in jail. Oh, I 100% agree. I mean, like, the stuff that he's done with this whole, really, the thing that gets me, right, is the unprecedented freaking hatchet job he's done to all of these agencies, and the fact that he got access to the Treasury still blows my freaking mind. The fact that he got access to the Treasury and has that data, by the way, he has it. There's no closing that door. There's no putting that toothpaste pack in the tube. It's really, really, really astonishing. Beery, not me missing the notifications. Work meetings beating my behind. No problem. You're good. You're good.
Its steepest drop in 5 years. CEO Elon Musk's controversial role in the White House causing fallout for the company.
And for some who drive Teslas as well.
And I look and I see in giant white spray painted letters, F Elon.
Richard's Body Shop in Albany Park has handled about 3 cases involving these specific electric vehicles being vandalized.
This video taken in Chicago that shows a white Chevy hitting the bumper, backing up, and then accelerating again.
The destruction of property here at the Tesla Center in Salem is only one example in a pattern of vandalism against Teslas across the nation.
This is only the most recent incident.
I'm sorry, guys. Look, vandalism is bad, okay? Glad whenever I see Tesla vandalism. I mean, we're not mad. He fed all of our information right into Grok 2. Dude's gonna build a virtual nation and hack the planet. I mean, isn't that the basis of oh God, what's this guy's name? Yarvin. And all it's Yarvin. He's basically the cult prophet of these kind of techno bros. Peter Thiel also comes into play with this, where they believe that democracy has basically run its course, and essentially they should be the ones in charge, real comic book villain type stuff. I should be able to get a job as a valet so I can tap Teslas into a telephone pole. Musk is vandalizing every second of every day. Yeah, every supervillain of all time. Yeah, just rolled into one. Or rolled into literally the Legion of Doom, right? Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Yarvin, couple of others. They believe that a handful of multi-trillionaires will rule the universe and where all their parasite people to be replaced by tools, replaced by robots, and they will use their own sperm to repopulate Mars. Yeah, Curtis Yarvin, that's it. That's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy.
Actually, the 5th time in the last 5 weeks this dealership has been targeted.
Police say surveillance images from the dealership shows Adam Matthew Lansky throwing Molotov cocktails at the dealership, sparking fires. In a separate incident, police allege that Lansky fired several rounds into
how do they know it's him?
The dealership and at least one vehicle.
And driving a Tesla went from
you know, a cool thing to do to not a cool thing pretty quickly.
This amidst a string of anti-Tesla vandalism reports across the country. Colorado police report that several vehicles were vandalized with graffiti at a Tesla dealership. A female suspect was later found with explosives at the same location. Over in California, several Tesla owners say they received flyers encouraging them to sell their cars or face consequences. And Monday in Massachusetts, these Tesla charging stations were set on fire. Investigators believe it was intentional.
Since President Trump's inauguration, Tesla has been under increasing pressure. Over the weekend in downtown, demonstrators
It's not like he destroyed anything of value. They said the guy with the firebomb is a lefty, but he clearly is right-handed. True. If you saw vandalism, maybe you didn't. I don't know. I didn't. They said it was some guy, but it looked like a guy in a mask, so I don't know. Explosive is a bit much. I mean, the car is... Yeah. We're going to starve the rich. Hold on to your pennies, Parasite class. They're not rich until we make them rich and we can take it back.
gathered outside a showroom on Rush Street to protest Elon Musk's involvement in federal cuts through the Department of Government Efficiency. While this remained peaceful, it was a different story in Seattle, where several Cybertrucks were set on fire last night.
Yeah, so when that's the alternative, I think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk should be thankful that some people are only choosing to peacefully resist through boycotts and protests. And to be clear, I'm not showing you these clips to promote vandalism. I would never support property damage. No way, not ever. So don't do it. I'm also beaming some additional thoughts into the minds of my viewers so that way they know how strongly I feel about property damage. But the point in showing you these videos...
Whoever smelt it dealt it is what I say with vandalism. Rise of the parasites. Elon's money is speculation. He's so overvalued in his stock that he's using as collateral. The second it loses enough value, his house of cards crumbles like a cheap suit. Yeah, that's why he's freaking out. That's literally why he's freaking out and having his lapdog, Trump, you know, come out and publicly make this publicity stunt of buying a freaking Tesla. 100%. The streamer doesn't... Oh, kitty. Poor thing. Come on. Come on, kitty. Poor thing. She tried to make the jump and couldn't. Can we see your cat? Well, let's see. He took out billions in loans backed by Tesla stock, and now that stock is tanking. Yep. Did she do a clumsy? She did. Yeah, I don't support vandalism in general. Me neither. I'm just not gonna cry over a Nazi getting his stuff rocked. Well, we'll see. If she comes back, I'll put her on at the end of the stream. I'll let her do the outro. Charlie Martini, welcome. Schadenfreude, it's delicious, hot or cold. True. I have a black cat and a tuxedo. This is a tuxedo.
Is to demonstrate how backlash inevitably manifests in numerous ways, whether you like it or not. As Martin Luther King Jr. put it, riots are the language of the unheard.
Trump is now in his first month in office, and we want to know how you think he's doing as president. You guys know how I think he's doing, but Democrats and other critics say that he's going too far too fast, and they are criticizing him, they're criticizing Elon Musk and others. Now we want to know.
Yeah. It wasn't a justification for political violence. It was an explanation as to why it occurs. Americans don't like getting crushed by the boot of billionaire robber barons. Well, at least most Americans don't like that. Not to kink shame any Republicans who may be watching, but
she does. She's a interesting kitty. She's a princess of the house. He's selling aquatic flying cars to evangelicals that don't even exist yet, based on a car whose design hasn't changed in 10 years. It's a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, an actual Ponzi scheme, unlike Social Security. They are the huskies of cats.
My point is that if you inflict pain and suffering on people through policy, they are going to rebel. That's what has happened since the beginning of time. Whenever a king or some dictator does this, there is always blowback. This is not anything new, and Elon Musk has shown no signs of slowing down, so that would lead me to believe that the backlash is probably going to continue if I had to guess. In fact, in an interview with Larry Kudlow on Fox News, he once again signaled his intent to cut Social Security, which, spoiler alert, is going to piss off a lot of people.
And it should, by the way.
The waste report in entitlement spending, which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. That's like the big one to eliminate. Is that's the sort of $500 billion, maybe 6, 7.
Yeah. So that what he's talking about, because he can't outright say it, right? Is Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid.
$100 billion a year. That is also a mechanism by which the Democrats attract and retain illegal immigrants by essentially.
By the way, like that's literally like just straight up like not true, and also it's very. I saw this particular clip floating around, and what the real message here is the Great Replacement, right? Like if you think about it, that's what he's talking about, right? The Democrats are bringing in these brown people, right, to become voters to replace, right, to replace and supplant the white order. That's essentially what he's talking about. Fox is our dog hardware running cat software. What he's saying is F the pores. He lies so effortlessly. On his his dry mouth and blinking apartheid era fascist stammer are worse than Trump. He's all in. It's undeniable, and anyone who tries is just lying to your face or is stupid. Such a lie about voting immigrants, racist to boot. Right, that's the point. Exactly, that's the point. Exactly. It's not about whether it's true or not. It's to push this narrative that's very common in white supremacist circles, right? That these brown people are coming, and the Democrats are using these brown people to generate voters, to replace, right? To replace the American people, the white people, and upend that white order.
Paying them to come here.
Yeah.
And then turning them into voters.
Yes, says Larry Kudlow. No idea what he has no, like, nothing here going on. He was raised in an apartheid household where even lower middle class whites can have several very poorly paid servants.
Yes. So this is why the Democrats are so upset about the situation, because they're losing. If we turn off this gigantic money magnet for illegal immigrants, then they will leave.
By the way, the entitlement programs, again, he's talking about, because he can't name it, right, by name, is Social Security, which undocumented people cannot take from, but they do contribute to it. The same goes for, like, a lot of federal programs. Proud to be an individual who signed the petition to revoke his citizenship. No doubt they are racist. And Vivek Ramaswamy wants to join that circle, but they'll never take him. Yeah.
And they'll lose voters.
Yeah, whatever happened to Vivek Ramaswamy? Wasn't he supposed to be like a co-leader of Doge? Yeah.
He's talking about cutting so-called entitlements like Medicare and Social Security. And the reason why they're called entitlements is because we are literally entitled to them. These are programs that we pay into our entire lives. This program, Social Security in particular.
Yeah, and like that's how they're going to sell, right? This idea that we need to get rid of Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. Yeah, they got him out of there fast. Read and Rap, welcome. Evening. Too much melanin.
Particular keeps 22 million Americans out of poverty every single year, including 16 million elderly Americans. And Elon Musk, who gets $8 million a day from the government through subsidies that we fund with our tax dollars, wants to take that money away from us. That is our money, okay? Not his money. He can't touch it. It's ours. And the fact that he's saying he wants to take away what is owed to us, that is going to lead to people being very angry. So this is why people are pissed off. They do things to antagonize people. They fuck people over, and then they cry victim when people respond by protesting or doing things that lose him money. But it's not just the brazenly illegal nature of Doge and the Nazism and the misinformation his social media platform spreads. It's
just so much, man. It's just so much. Elon does need to go. Really. Like, he's at the top of the list as far as, like, when all this is said and done, man, I mean, like, I hope if there is any sense of justice, okay, that guy needs to see the inside of a courtroom. Before all of this, when all of this is said and done, that guy needs to see the inside of a courtroom. Because, man, if there's no repercussions, if there's no consequences to what is happening here, then, like, it's just carte blanche to just do it again, right? Like, there's no consequences. Who's going to stop the next person? Whose bright idea was it to put two racist princeling Nepo babies in Doge and call them partners? One Brahmin prince versus one white supremacist apartheid prince.
Fact that his actions are now material.
Well, I mean, they were united because they're from the capital class, but then, like, the whole, like, racism thing kind of broke that.
Really hurting people. That is why the backlash is so severe. Actions have consequences. If you touch a stove, you shouldn't be surprised if you get burned. But as you can see, right-wing propagandists are working overtime to do propaganda on his behalf to make
Thank you for the YouTube sub. Appreciate
it seem like
that.
He altruistically martyred his own companies just to save the country. What a good guy. But in actuality, we all can see that he's a greedy prick who's destroying our government for personal gain. But make no mistake about it, Elon Musk is not a victim. Trump scolding people being mean to him and Fox News running propaganda pieces for him isn't going to convince people that Elon Musk is a victim. He's not a victim because people don't want to buy his shitty cars. Nobody believes that, and you're not going to convince us of that. Nor are you going to make anyone feel sorry for him. This is the richest man on the planet. I think he's going to be just fine. But listen, we didn't ask for Elon Musk to be our unelected shadow president. We didn't ask for Elon Musk to buy an entire social media company to poison American discourse. He chose to do these things on his own volition. He chose to make himself the face of late-stage capitalism. We didn't ask for any of this. He imposed himself on all of us without our consent and inserts himself into virtually every aspect of American life.
True. Elon bought his way into Trump campaign.
And as much as I
$200 and something million
hate every other CEO, none of them do what Elon Musk does to this extent. Most of them buy politicians and then hide. Elon Musk buys politicians and then pretends like he's virtuous for buying politicians to benefit his own companies. Like, most people don't even know the names of the pricks and prickettes that run the Fortune 500 companies. So if you're going to put your face out there, then don't be surprised if people are going to start to hate you. And
280 million, gotcha.
Quite frankly, I think that I speak for most Americans when I say we're tired of looking at his dumb fucking face. But he refuses to take the hint. He sees the backlash and he thinks that whining and crying is going to make us like him more. He actually believes that he's funny and likable and cute and he can't fathom why people would like him less.
I am become meme.
The more they see of him. But Elon, since you can't take the hint, let me spell it out for you as clearly as I possibly can. We don't fucking like you. We hate you. I don't care if that hurts your feelings. Spare me the crocodile tears. Go away, and I am certain the backlash will die down. Otherwise, shut the fuck up, because if you're going to be present, and if the Republican Party and Fox News is going to continue to shove you down our throats, we're going to continue to hate you, and the backlash is going to continue to build.
Luigi not happy.
Oh, he did the Luigi one. Yeah, he just cut out the middleman that is Congress. If he were female, maybe. Elon's weird AF and he knows that. Man, I really need to cut this. I need to splice this up.
Luigi not happy. Luigi. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. Luigi. Yeah. Luigi. See you. Bye-bye. Good job, Luigi. Yahoo!
Nice. I'm sorry. I'm not going to watch this Jubilee stuff. I've seen enough clips. No matter how many times this gets suggested. Look, God bless Sam Seder, okay, for having the patience to dealing with one, much less 20 Trump supporters, 20 MAGA people. Bless him. Like, seriously. God bless Sam Seder for having the patience and the stamina, okay, to be able to have a conversation with 20 MAGA people. I watched a bit of it. I've seen a couple clips and a couple of clips that they went over on the show and just some on social media. Man, it's just it's rough. It was painful to watch. Yeah, I could see that. That's just torture. Basically, Sam has facts and they had feelings. 100%. Like, Sam, like, understand that, like, Sam, this, for Sam, like, this is his bread and butter. This is what Sam does, right? Like, he's known for this. So I don't know, like, what those 20 MAGAs were thinking. I don't know what those 20 MAGAs were thinking, like, to be so eager to take, to try to take a bite at Sam. Oh no, Sam Seder. They're not interesting or clever. He's in a room full of rabid puppies with little brain viruses. Yeah, but you can only explain something to them over so many times. Geneva Convention called there's a problem. Like, at some point, like, I think on one of the exchanges, he was like, look, what month is it? Right? And they're like, January. He's like, well, okay, at least we agree with that. I think, I seriously think I would have broke doing something like that. My brain would have just melted and I would have snapped on them. I don't know. I don't think I could have lasted very long. Like, look, maybe a couple, maybe a couple, but like after that, like I'm done. Bono, welcome.
Egg prices, if you haven't checked lately, are rather expensive.
Yeah.
A big part of this, of course, is because of the bird flu, which the Trump administration seems only to slightly be taking somewhat seriously, although with incredibly crazy ideas that we're almost watching like the redux of, what about bleach? If we put bleach inside of us, because they're talking about like chickens don't fly. So maybe what we do is we kill the rest of the birds around. Honestly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And they fired the people at the USDA who are supposed to be responsible for this. They tried to get them back. I wonder if they will. The DOJ is also looking into the.
Yeah, buy chickens for the yard. They seemed so uninformed. They were. What is this? Oh yeah.
Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare. Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare. Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare. Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare.
So I always respect people who enter into the arena. You're gonna do anything you can to avoid the debate. Come on, man. Look, no idea that you were taking your show off early last time. I had no idea this was going to happen. Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare. 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 So I always respect people who enter into the arena.
Seems that Steven Crowder had gotten some cold feet, so I don't think he's coming.
Why is that?
I would love to ask him myself. He's not even answering anymore.
Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare. 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 I had no idea this was going to happen.
That's actually pretty funny. Is Steven Crowder's show even still going? It feels like he fell off the map. Yeah, it does. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. He's got bigger problems. At this time. Last time I saw Crowder was being investigated. Oof. I think actually the Majority Report did kind of some segments on this, didn't they? I remember they played parts of like a deposition, right? Yeah, so I can't remember what exactly he's gotten himself into, but yeah, he's got bigger problems.
The problem that we have a potential monopoly within the egg producers. Good. We have monopolies in a ton of these things. Yes, that's encouraging.
But they're also looking into the potential that they are price gouging on eggs, which I was told by a lot of folks in the New York Times back in the day that this was a left-wing conspiracy theory, the greedflation thing. Now even the Trump administration.
Wasn't it some kinky, weird, kinky, sketchy stuff? No. I remember. He's correct. He's correct. He posted... he accused an innocent person of a crime on his show, and he's being sued, I believe. Yeah, the Arrival News thing. Yeah. Okay, it's all freaking coming to me. So basically, like the one news source, right? The one news source that he found, and decided to put that up there instead of, literally the entirety of the rest of the mainstream news. And as it turns out, trusting like one weird sketchy source is not the way you vet your news. Who would have thought? Yeah, the deposition for that guy he misidentified as the white supremacist shooter. Yep, that's it.
And is accepting the fact that a lot of this inflationary stuff was the result of corporations taking advantage of the pandemic and price gouging people.
I can't believe that. No, that's not true. And here is Donald Trump and his Treasury Secretary. Let's start with the Treasury Secretary. Treasury Secretary.
So good when bad things happen to bad people.
Bessent. I'm not exactly sure what an economic detox means, but this is what the guy is saying we should be anticipating.
There's going to be a natural adjustment as we move away from public spending to private spending. The market and the economy have just become hooked. We've become addicted to this government spending, and there's going to be a detox period. There's going to be a detox period.
I think that's
okay. Temporary. That is a
yeah. Didn't they try to sell it the same way in Argentina? Didn't Milei try to sell it in the same exact manner? Right? Because like it's coming from the same like anarcho-capitalist framework, and as it turns out, it's like really, really bad. Okay, like government spending, okay, isn't inherently bad. Okay? If your government is spending, just to give out a number, because this won't be accurate, but just to say a number for the number's sake, just for the sake of argument. If your government is spending $100 billion in healthcare, right? That's not the same as saying like, oh, the government is spending like $100 billion in tax cuts, for example. So it's not the fact that like the government is spending so much. It's what it's doing.
A roundabout way of saying we're going to maybe have a recession. The idea that we're addicted to government spending is one of the dumbest concepts that you could possibly have. The only difference is going to be is that we're going to be addicted to private spending, and private spending far less efficient. This is just
especially when it comes to like vital services, right? SNL will have a heyday with this goof. They're literally saying that making a living and getting money is something you're going to have to get weaned off. Yep. Pay your taxes and starve to death happily. Government organizations are not supposed to turn a profit. Correct. The government is supposed to provide services. The government is not a business.
Simply a fact, because definitionally, if it's private spending, and we're talking about on a scale to replace government agencies, because that's what we're talking about. They're going to privatize, state national parks. Incidentally, national parks, like the IRS, 6-to-1 return on the dollar. For every $1 you spend at the in a federal park, the government does, we get 6 back on that. That's going to be privatized. I think we were talking about that 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
About their desire to do that. All of these things that you're going to privatized, 10-20% off of the cost, and know that's the inefficiency there, because that's what the board of directors, that's what the shareholders are going to want in terms of profit, and that's a minimum. That's a minimum.
He is admitting there that they're doing shock therapy on the country. Like, that is the shock doctrine. They are trying to privatize everything.
Yeah, they're trying to Argentina this, and the way the results speak for themselves. Don't take my word for it. Just Google it. Google what the economic situation is in Argentina. Google what the poverty rate is in Argentina.
But they're creating a temporary economic harm, essentially knowing that that's going to happen to people, so they can build the country back up in their image, which is a really privatized model. Elon Musk was on stage at CPAC with Javier Milei, who with a chainsaw, which is what Milei did in Argentina. And now over 50% of the population is in poverty, as he guts social programs and also attacked government workers down in Argentina as well. It's the same model, and that's incredibly scary. It's a giant.
Yeah, she's completely correct. In Canada, there are public schools everywhere. White supremacy is the reason America doesn't have public pools. You can think a lot of your social services in the same way. Everyone does without, because white supremacists don't want black people to have good things.
Giant crypto scam and a privatization scheme using shock therapy on the public.
And the idea of like being addicted to government spending is so baby-brained. We're going to be we're addicted to money in many respects too. Like, we need it to buy things.
Right.
Now, remember, every accusation is just a confession, right? Like, these people are defending literal dragons, okay, sitting on top of treasures. I saw a clip of elderly protesting in Argentina being beaten by cops. It was incredibly sad and enraging.
And so just even the concept of being addicted to government spending is absurd. We can always have government spending unless, of course, we cut taxes and just allow big corporations to do the job of government.
Hey, look, it's Emma and that old guy. Inflation rate in Argentina is 85% as of January. Oof.
But to do it poorly, because their number one job will be profit making.
Soda account, welcome.
Also, a little hesitant to admit that we're going to go through a detox
the anti-corporatist, welcome.
And I want to ask you about Ukraine and the blow up the other day with Zelensky. Let me stay on the economy for a moment, because there are rising worries about a slowdown. You've got the Atlanta Federal Reserve saying we're going to have a contraction in the first quarter. Look, I know that you inherited a mess, and you said that the other night.
I've only been here, Chino.
I've only been here, 2 months, and don't blame me. Blame Biden. Okay, blame Biden. Not my policies. Okay, not my inflationary policies, my tariffs. Biden.
Are you expecting a recession this year?
I hate to predict things.
I hate to predict things. I hate to predict things, okay? Listen, all the economists, okay, and their data and their facts, okay? I just hate to predict things, okay? He's going to blame all this on Elon. He could. He didn't inherit a mess. Maybe I need to post a link in chat sooner. I don't want to be rude, though. That's okay, Soul Life. Am I banned today? No, you're here. I see you. Yeah, Elon could be the fall guy, right? Look, I can only break things quickly, okay? Not good. not good, them. He's older than dirt, but the bronzer isn't even giving him a glow anymore.
There is
civilian victims of Havana syndrome. Thank you, Soul Life. Confession by projection is their go-to because it's easier than thinking. Lacking policy and ideas, they use a simple template.
Period of transition, because what we're doing is very big. We're
very big, very big.
America. That's a big thing.
That's a big thing.
And there are
okay.
always
When I think
of
about wealth in America, okay, I'm talking about Elon getting more billions of dollars. Okay, that's the real wealth. Okay. The rest of you can eat cake.
It takes a little time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. I meant you can delete the last 30 seconds. I did not see Soul Life. Elon is definitely a shield for Trump, not legally, but they'll blame him over Trump. Yeah, definitely. Like Trump is the cult leader. So before things get to him, Elon would take the fall, for sure.
It takes a little time, but I think it should be great for us. I mean, I think it should be great. It's going to be great ultimately for the farmer. Don't forget, I made.
Have fun.
So there it is. I mean, he and Bessent have obviously talked about this, and to the extent that Trump can absorb anything, he knows that there's going to be a little bit of pain. And when I say,
he's literally thrown his own kids under the bus. Elon is cooked.
There's going to be a little bit of pain. I don't mean for me or rich people, but for the others.
Yeah, the plebs, the ones beneath us.
The others, there's going to be pain.
That's what the tariffs are as well.
And you're just going to have to accept that it's going to be big and beautiful, okay? Maybe a little pain, maybe not, but we're going to have a big and beautiful country. Okay, not for you, though, but it's going to be big and beautiful for us, okay?
Are a compounding regressive tax, like the sales tax that disproportionately affects people of lower income or working people, middle-class people too. This just makes it so that the price of goods increase, and Trump is saying we can get all this revenue. But you know what we could also do is just tax the rich.
Yeah.
But that's what they don't want to do. And so this is going to be on the backs of everyday people. That's the reality of this.
Beer makes the point that they're not looking to just privatize national parks, that they are also looking to privatize Social Security. And this, again, has been at least a 20-year goal specifically to privatize it.
Exactly. This is not even a new concept, to be frank.
And I have no doubt that's what this is about. The idea of fraud and waste and all this, always been a cover. In fact, I dedicated a big chunk of my Jubilee in anticipation of this, their attack on Social Security. Might have been better if it came out in a month or two when they really are, it's really quite clear. Although right now we can see they're The Social Security Administration is under assault. And when they make it look like there's a problem, doing all this, the government's inefficient doing it with 1/4 of the workforce it's supposed to.
Kralia, welcome. Trump listed the White House residence on Airbnb. Well, he did put a CIA black site on the market by accident.
To execute this, we need to send it to, I don't know, United Health. Maybe they'll do our Social Security.
It has to be said, we don't spend that much. Our governments don't spend that much per GDP. It's about 36%. There's countries in Europe that you get 40 to 50%. We do not spend a lot.
And that 36% is on the entire operations. 36% of our GDP on the entire operations. There was a guy in the, what do you call it, in the whatever it was I just did.
The Jubilee. Yeah, accident. Elon's a shield for Trump, and Elon's toddler is a shield for him.
The Jubilee thing, who said that was welfare, as opposed to everything. Well, welfare is like 1 to 2, like 4%. If you include, you're very generous with that definition.
The national park spending also returns more money than we.
Yeah, that's what I just said. 6 to 1.
Yeah, Squirrel Man.
IRS, 7 to 1.
Yeah. I mean, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
But imagine if H&R Block did it instead.
Gregorian wants to know how would you privatize Social Security? You would have the administration of it done privately, and then you just put it into the stock market. And of course, who's going to invest it for you? Whoa.
Late Surfs Raider. Hey, Looney Tunes, welcome.
Whole cadre of financial advisors.
Get some nice fees.
And not only are they going to have fees, but they're going to be able to manipulate the market. If you give me billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to manage, I can decide which stocks are going to perform well.
Yeah.
I mean, this is this is why people track huge funds, pension funds, and who's administering these funds, because when they sink this money into a sector or a specific company, it's going to go up.
Yep.
We'll do a Social Security privatization, sort of like a throwback from
True Soul Life.
George W. Bush. And the way that he set it up, too, incidentally, same deal. Walked into a room in Treasury and go, look there's no money here. It's all just IOUs. Just paper. Incidentally, our currency?
Paper.
Paper as well. Hey, folks, don't forget.
It'd be like your healthcare. Yep. All right, folks. Let's get into the headlines before we get out of here. Again, next week, folks. The streams will be a little bit limited, but we'll try to do our best. Another subscriber on YouTube. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Trump imposes a sweeping 25% tariff on steel and aluminum. Canada and Europe have swiftly retaliated. So it's happening, folks. It's happening. The Sam jump scare. Yep. Yeah, I've gotten used to it by this time. I thought that was pretty freaking cool. Trump better not F my Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. It won't be for a lack of trying, Kraylio, because they are. They are trying. Canadian here, we're also having a white supremacy problem. Former Prime Minister literally made a memorial to the victims of communism where the majority are Nazi or sympathizers. Yeesh. Lord Pretty Bear, if you thought inflation was bad, gird your loins. Indeed. Indeed. President Trump imposed a sweeping 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imported into the United States on Wednesday. That's today. A policy aimed at leveling the playing field for U.S. manufacturing, but leveling the playing field for U.S. manufacturing that isn't really up to snuff, right? But a move that threatens to drive up prices on a broad range of consumer and industrial goods for Americans. It's the latest salvo in Trump's multifaceted tariff plan aiming at destroying the economy. I mean, perceived correcting perceived trade imbalances and reigniting domestic industry. But it risks igniting a global trade war. The European Union, hit for the first time by higher U.S. tariffs since Trump returned to the White House, retaliated within hours with countermeasures on U.S. goods. U.S. goods exports. Later, Canada announced over $20 billion in retaliatory measures as well. Trump on Wednesday in the Oval Office said the United States would up the ante after the European and Canadian retaliation, but he did not spell out how or when the United States would respond. Of course I will respond, Trump said. Cool. Carney sworn in as interim prime minister in Canada on Friday. Poilievre is a Trump humper and he sucks. Yep, I don't disagree. The tariffs on steel and aluminum mark the first time in Trump's second term that the set of tariffs have been applied to all countries. Imposing steel and aluminum tariffs poses a risky bet. Although it could give America's steel and aluminum industry a boost, it will raise prices on a key ingredient for American manufacturers, which would be passed on to consumers. No doubt about it. The cost would outweigh the benefits. That's what happened in Trump's first term. Although Trump's 2018 metals tariff expanded U.S. production modestly, it sent costs rising for cars, tools, machines, and shrank those industries' output by more than $3 billion. In 2021, the International Trade Commission found in a 2023 analysis. It could also backfire on the industries it's designed to protect. Trump's tariff could cost 100,000 American jobs, including 20,000 from the aluminum industry. William Opplinger, CEO of Alcoa, one of the largest U.S. aluminum makers, warned last month. So, we're just doing this to crash the economy, basically. And where the F are we going to mine the ingredients to make the steel from? Greenland? I'd like to see Trump keep acting like that after Ontario shuts off all the electricity. Boo, CNN is full of crap. While we're supportive of the efforts to improve the industry as well, this is the article that I was able to draw up. The first article that I found, I should say. While we are supportive of the efforts to improve the industry as well as strengthen U.S. manufacturing jobs, we do see there could be some harm from the tariffs. I mean, no doubt about it. The tariffs in this manner are destructive. Okay? We don't have the domestic infrastructure in place to be able to give people the alternative to say, buy American, here's the American product, right? We don't have the infrastructure in place to even make this effective. Inflationary, correct. I doubt there's any steel and aluminum manufacturers with that space capacity. So where I work, we make safety devices that keep power plants, oil refineries, wheat and soy processing plants from exploding. We had a 6% price increase with Trump's first tariffs, and now we're having another 8% increase today, and I don't think that will be the end of it. Trump wants Canada for the oil and lumber and Greenland for the rare earth minerals. Canada retaliates. Before Wednesday, Trump had only enacted tariffs that applied to China, Mexico, and Canada this term. In case of Mexico and Canada, businesses can avoid paying tariffs through April 2nd if they comply with the USMCA. California is a top importer of Canadian electricity, so for Trump, I doubt there's the threat of cutting any electricity is so bad. Dark Doug. It's not like Trump knows anything. That's true. Canada announced a series of retaliatory measures on Wednesday morning that are set to take effect on Thursday, which includes 25% tariffs on 20 billion imports of U.S. goods, such as steel and aluminum products. Canada also targeted billions of dollars worth of imports from the U.S. of computers, sporting equipment, and cast iron products. We'll continue to maintain our countermeasures and increase them on April 2nd, said Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc. LeBlanc is set to travel to Washington tomorrow to meet with U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. The conversation tomorrow will be around lowering the temperature and focusing on the process that the President Trump sets up, where Secretary Lutnick has up to April 2nd to determine a series of global tariff decisions. He added, April 2nd is the date the administration said reciprocal tariff actions will be announced across many countries. Speaking at an Ontario-based steel mill on Wednesday, Canada's Prime Minister designate Mark Carney he is ready to meet with Trump, but he wants America to respect its northern neighbor's sovereignty. Carney's remarks marked his first direct message to Trump since winning his party's leadership election earlier this week. We're working with a common approach, a more comprehensive approach for trade. We're all going to be better off when the greatest economy and security partnership in the world is renewed. You have a new government, but the same commitment. Canada's Algoma Steel has said it's temporarily suspending all shipments to the U.S. in response to the tariffs. The pause will be in place until the company has a better understanding of where tariffs stand, given the heightened volatility lately, which was on full display on Tuesday. I live along the British border imposed on Ireland, and smuggling was massive before the Good Friday Agreement. Doug Ford, in a true buzzkill fashion, dropped the tariff of electricity. Peter Navarro is a tariff moron who's been yammering this crazy theories in Trump's ears since 45. Since fake 45. Man. I mean, but honestly, like Trump has been like on this tariff vibe for even before his presence, even before he even thought about running for office. In the 80s, he's talked about his fondness for tariffs. Yikes, that's some Final Destination stuff there. Soul Life. Trump's got a nose for theft. Wonders what the Canadian-American merger country song will sound like. Yeah, tariffs are bad for anyone. They're bad. Yeah, it's a lose-lose. Algoma is one of the largest Canadian steel companies and a major supplier to the U.S. In anticipation of the tariffs and the potential financial ramifications to them, Algoma laid off 20 workers. Yeah. The EU responded to the unjustified tariffs on Wednesday by unveiling countermeasures up to $28 billion worth of American goods exports, including tariffs on boats, bourbon, and motorbikes. The measures, which will come into force in April, are swift and proportionate. The U.S. Was the second biggest destination to the EU's iron and steel exports last year, according to the official figures released on Wednesday. In 2023, the latest year for which data is available, it was also the second largest buyer for European aluminum. The tariffs' aggregate macroeconomic effects on Europe is likely to be small, said economists at Nomura. But they added Trump is likely to announce further tariffs on April 2nd. A sizable negative effect on global and European growth may also hit even before major tariffs are implemented, via the rise in trade policy and geopolitical uncertainty that Trump presidency is generating. Shortly before the tariffs went into effect, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese criticized them as being entirely unjustified against the spirit of our two nations' enduring friendship, but said Canberra will impose no reciprocal levies. Tariffs and escalating trade tensions are a form of economic self-harm and a recipe for slower growth and higher inflation. This is why Australia will not be imposing reciprocal tariffs on the United States. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said on Wednesday that her country would be taking a similar approach for now. We will wait until April 2nd, and from there we'll define whether reciprocal tariffs will also be applied in the case of aluminum and steel, depending on how things come. We'll keep this process and the dialogue opened until April 2nd. Man, our allies are having... oh, there you are. Our allies are having way more restraint than anticipated. Come here, kitty. Ugh. There she is. This is her. Okay, my little purr machine, go on. Grandma's Gaming, hello. A tariff is a tool. You can use a shovel to dig a hole or hit someone in the head, not the size of the tariff, it's how you use it. Restraint isn't what's needed right now. Restraint is what allowed Hitler to do with so many atrocities before any country stepped in. Holding them on the bed of a truck and they crush everything in their path. Oof. Put the purrs next to the mic. It doesn't pick it up. I've tried. I need like a better, like a more sensitive mic. I need a sensitive mic to be able to pick that up. Always Hitler with some people. Yeah, you know. When you do Hitler stuff, then yeah, it's a thing that's gonna happen. You're gonna be compared. Mostly your sound is really good, though. Appreciate that. China is the only country whose aluminum and steel will be tariffed at rates higher than 25%. That's because a 20% across-the-board tariff on Chinese imports was already in effect, and a 25% steel and aluminum tariff will be tacked on top. Yeah. However, the Biden administration allowed exceptions. This was from the USMCA. Including Canada, Mexico, Japan, and South Korea. Trump's latest action reverses that with no exceptions on any country's steel imports to the U.S. The same applies for aluminum. Cool. Yeah, America's Hitler, according to J.D. Vance. Incidentally, the vice president. While Trump's aim is to hurt the Canadian economy and trying to make them submit, by imposing higher steel and aluminum tariffs on them, the move risks hurting American economy as well. In total, the U.S. imported $31 billion worth of iron and steel and $27.4 billion of aluminum last year, according to the data from U.S. Commerce Department. Canada was the top source of iron, steel, and aluminum sent to the U.S. last year, with the U.S. importing $11.4 billion worth of aluminum and $7.6 billion worth of iron and steel from there. With aluminum, other top foreign sources shipping to the U.S. include China, Mexico, and the United States Air Emirates. With steel, Brazil, Mexico, and South Korea are the top sources. Now, when someone directly quotes Hitler, acts like him, salutes like him, it stands to reason that they'll be compared to Hitler. Navarro's tariff theory success relies on the spontaneous appearance of fully working automobile factories well stocked and ready to get their cars into production yesterday. Right. Yeah, I mean, exactly. As I've said before, like, this only works if you have, like, the infrastructure to be able to do this, right? Like, you have to have the manufacturing, the domestic manufacturing ready to go for this to even be feasible. But that's not what's happening here. For example, aluminum and steel use heavily an extensive list of goods. Tariffs on both metals could significantly raise prices for Americans. For example, cars contain hundreds, if not thousands of pounds of steel and aluminum, so when Trump says substantial higher auto tariffs will shut down the auto industry in Canada, they are more likely to backfire on U.S. auto production given how intertwined the North American car supply chain is. Appliances, machinery, infrastructure, medical devices, cans, power lines are all among the many commonly used products that also rely on steel and aluminum. And to prevent companies from importing finished goods to skirt tariffs, as many did during Trump's first term, this round of tariffs include many items manufactured with steel and aluminum. Even before Wednesday, the prospect of higher tariffs on steel and aluminum led to sharp increases in market-traded spot prices for these metals, said Phil Gibbs, an analyst of KeyBank. The price of domestic steel is up to more than 30% in the last 2 months, he said, while the domestic price of aluminum has risen 15%. Many large industrial customers might be protected from those price increases in the near term because of the long-term contracts they've locked in. But should the steel and aluminum tariffs stay in place, they can expect to pay even more if the products, even if the products they are buying comes from domestic mills. I mean, just to kind of touch up on that, and Sam Cedar has actually explained this as well, really, really, really well. Tariffs, by the way, also affect domestic prices because if, let's say, a product that cost $5 domestically, right? Because of the tariffs, the imported version of the products cost $8. Well, the domestic producer, the domestic brand, is going to raise theirs to $7 and still undercut the imported competitor, but the price still went up. So you're getting screwed no matter what. The consumer is getting screwed no matter what. Say goodbye to any small business. Yep. Automobile production in North America is a triumvirate where the continent is the factory. He's disassembling the automobile factory. Before Trump was elected, he stated he would make Canada submit by economic financing. He's doing all this to Canada purposely for financial gain. I mean, he thinks, I've said this before, he thinks in his deluded mind that he's going to make Canada the 51st state by trying to make them submit with these economic, using this economic warfare. But that's not how this is going to go. Those new Cybertrucks are going to cost a lot more. The tariffs are likely not only to affect raw products being imported, but also costs of imported parts made using these metals. For instance, the price of aluminum bumper or radiator purchased by an automaker from a Canadian or Mexican part supplier would likely increase. Trump's policy has also has had plenty of fits and starts. Hours before enacting the latest tariffs, Trump reversed the threat to double the rate on steel and aluminum from Canada, the U.S. top source of imports of metals. Instead, steel and aluminum from there will be subject to a 25% levy. It may go up higher, he said. So, yeah, I mean, like, we'll see what happens. It seems like one thing is certain, and that is uncertainty. And that's not good as far as, like, the economy goes. So, yeah. Correct, Bad Left. The egg prices are also artificially inflated. Apparently, we only have 4% less eggs than last year, and prices 66% higher. I said to Stu, I wonder if Trump was pumping the tariff pedal to inflate prices like what happened under Biden with inflation. Yeah, we have to buy Canada dinner first. Trump has also said the Canadian-American border agreement is invalid and wants to renegotiate water rights. Yeah, okay, dude. Sure, bud. You know, Al Green was censured for disrupting a fascist president. And meanwhile, this kind of behavior happens in the House, and nobody gets censured. Punish us, we're hunkered down and shoulder to shoulder as the people he spent the last 10 years splitting America into warring factions. He literally divided and conquered, but now himself, and now he's waging war on Team Canada. That guy doesn't know the first thing about strategy. To be fair, he doesn't know the first thing about a lot of things. Some places are selling single eggs. Al Green is the only true Democrat. Al Green gets censured, but here we have Republican members being grossly disrespectful, grossly bigoted, and nothing happens. It is intentional. They want to crash the economy so that the rich can buy up more and more because they will be the only ones able to buy anything. Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that, bipedal. That's something that's been on my mind. Definitely. I have seen this. It was disgusting. I'm glad her colleague stood up for her at least. Yep. Heated exchange after subcommittee chair Keith Self calls first out trans representative Sarah McBride, quote, Mr. McBride. The Republican chair of a U.S. House subcommittee adjourned a hearing after he was challenged for misgendering Sarah McBride, the first openly trans member of Congress. McBride, a first-term Democratic congresswoman from Delaware, elected last November, shot back at the chair, and a senior Democrat on the committee also spoke up to challenge the insult. Yep, that's what Bad Lefty was talking about. In Tuesday's Foreign Affairs hearings, panel chair Keith Self of Texas introduced the Delaware member when it was her turn to speak by saying, I now recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride. Mr. McBride responded satirically by saying, thank you, Madam Chair. Bill Keating, a Massachusetts Democrat, defended his colleague. It is disgusting. Al Green makes the right trouble, but Large Marge Green wore MAGA gear in people's house and nothing happened. Yeah, that's exactly my point. This is not decent, Keating told Self. Under Donald Trump, Republicans have made attacks on trans rights a central part of their party platform, especially targeting health care for trans youth, transgender troops, and official recognition of gender, with the U.S. president declaring during his inauguration speech that the government would only recognize two genders, male and female, following it up with an executive order. McBride has been repeatedly misgendered on the House floor by Republicans and even targeted with a bill introduced by Nancy Mace of South Carolina to ban trans women from using the women's bathroom on Capitol Hill. Such ban was imposed on November. Come on, kitty cat. Wasting our time and money on this shit. Yep. It is insulting. Oh, you guys can't see what's going on here. Yeah, she's demanding her head to be scratched. Okay. I guess she'll stay here for the remainder. What's the kitty's name? Her name is Vaquita. Lock you downs, welcome. The simple reality is that Canada needs the U.S. way more than the opposite, so Trump has the cards to play. Nobody thinks Canada will be the 51st state, but they will accept terms or suffer. No, that's not going to happen, dude. Not a thing that's going to happen. Sorry. I don't know, like, what delusions, what alternate reality you live in, but I can assure you that this is only this is only serving the purpose of trying to disrupt the economy, and it will hurt Americans too. Under Trump, Republicans have made the attacks. Oh yeah, we got trans rights and official recognition of gender, with the U.S. president declaring in his inauguration speech that his government would only recognize two genders, male and female, following it up with an executive order. McBride has been repeatedly misgendered on the House floor by Republicans and even targeted with a bill introduced by Nancy Mace of South Carolina to ban trans women from using the women's bathroom on Capitol Hill. The such ban was imposed on November. On Tuesday, after her Madam Chair repost, McBride began speaking, but Keating, the ranking Democrat on the panel, interjected to admonish Self, quote, Mr. Chairman, could you repeat your instruction again, please? Self said, yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply Keating interjected again, wrapping his dais. What is the standard, Mr. Chair? Would you repeat what you just said when you introduced the duly elected representative from the United States of America, please? I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride. So again, like he's just being a freaking a-hole for no reason, just to be a freaking bigoted a-hole. Okay? Look at that, Bakita. You got a lot of love. Yeah. Keating said, Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, you have no decency. I mean, I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent. Self said, we will continue this hearing. His voice rising and gesturing towards McBride. Keating said, you will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way. Self banged the gavel and said the hearing is adjourned. Keating closed his binder notes with a clap and the committee left the room. At a time of increased concern over the Trump administration's treatment of European allies and his talk with Russia meant to end the war in Ukraine, the hearing was supposed to cover arms control, national security, and U.S. assistance to Europe, review and reform this for the State Department. On Tuesday, McBride released a statement. I was disappointed that the chair decided to end the committee hearing early. I was prepared to move forward with my questions for the subcommittee on nuclear non-proliferation and the U.S. support for democratic allies in Europe. Keating did not comment further. Self posted the video of the confrontation and echoed an executive order signed by Trump in January, writing, it is the policy of the United States to recognize two sexes, male and female. I mean, that's not a law. Okay? That's not a law. McBride said she intends to pick her battles and avoid rising to Republicans' bait because attacks on her are meant as a distraction from policies that which hurt ordinary Americans. I think we're all united in the attempts to attack a vulnerable community. Are not only mean-spirited, but an attempt to misdirect, she told CBS, because every single time we hear the incoming administration or Republicans in Congress talk about any vulnerable groups in this country, we have to be clear that this is an attempt to distract. I mean, true, but, they're distracting with, real human beings and stepping on rights as they do so. They're so disrespectful, it just blows me away. I don't see any other Republicans can sit there and not say anything. They know it's wrong, and they think they're just bending their knee to keep their job. Yeah, I mean, whatever the reason, right? Whether they agree with it, whether they don't agree with it and they're scared. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know why Autumn decided to stop that message, but okay. Thank you. Yeah, they are spineless. Now attacks on you show that it's acceptable to do so, Sarah. They said blows me. Oh, is that it? Sometimes you just have to stand up and do the right thing. No problem about the auto mod. Yeah, I know. Sometimes, it's a little wonky. Every single time we hear them say the word trans, look at what they're doing with their right hand. Look at what they're doing to pick the pockets of American workers, to fleece seniors by privatizing Social Security and Medicare. Look what they're doing in undermining workers. Speaking to the New York Times, McBride said that behind the scenes, some Republicans have been warm and welcoming, though not defending her in public. I mean, that doesn't do us any good, right? That doesn't do you any good. You're just spineless. Right. It's the letter hack. We're going to go through this one very quickly because this is basically that this can be like summarized in like 5 seconds. Now's the time, especially to stand up for yourself, to make a scene and point out how they're focusing on you and the people like you rather than what really matters. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. This only takes 5 seconds. Apparently, Katie Porter is going to throw her hat in the ring for governor's race. So honestly, I'm not exactly opposed to this. This is actually pretty cool. Now the question is like what the calculus is because of how short the margin is for the House of whether or not she. I guess it depends on what happens in the next month or so with these special elections. But yeah, former Democratic U.S. House member Katie Porter announced on Tuesday that she'll be entering the. Oh no, wait. Oh yeah. Okay, gotcha. Never mind. She's entering the race for California governor, joining a crowded field of candidates that could be upended if former Vice President Kamala Harris joins the race. Nah, I would definitely pick. Katie Porter and her whiteboard over Kamala Harris. I love Katie Porter's whiteboard lections. Kamala mad though. I'm sitting on my porch in my MAGA hub. Husband came back outside and promptly went back in. He's so blind. We don't discuss Trump. He's a triple Trumper. Oof. I'm sorry. Oh, and Jasmine Crockett. I mean, is she from Cali as well? Because that would be another suitable option as well. Texas. Gotcha. Porter, who became a social media celebrity by brandishing the whiteboard at congressional hearings and while grilling CEOs, promised in a campaign launch video to be aggressive counterweight to President Trump's administration at a time when the heavily Democratic state clashed with the White House over issues of water management and immigrants' rights. So yeah. Crockett is of Texas. Gotcha. I mean, Katie Porter would be a fantastic choice, honestly. I'm completely okay with this. We are lost if we don't get the House and Senate back. All right, folks. We got one more. We can kind of run through here. We mind chalk, no? In Doge, we trust. House GOP governs by embracing Trump's effort to cut government. A familiar scene has played out over and over at the White House. Republicans unable to approve federal funding on their own, edge towards a risky government shutdown, until Democrats swoop in with the votes needed to prevent catastrophic disruptions. Until now, Speaker Johnson has accomplished the seemingly unexpected, keeping his GOP majority in line to pass a bill to keep the government running, convincing even the most staunch conservatives from the Freedom Caucus to come on board. It wasn't just President Trump's public badgering of lawmakers and threats of political retribution against Republicans who refused to fall in line, although the sharp warning prevented wide dissent. But also one, the rank-and-file Republicans Trump was already doing with the chainsaw-wielding billionaire Elon Musk, slashing the size of the federal government, and firing thousands of workers through Doge, and the White House has promised to do more. And Doge, we trust, completely abdicating their responsibility as Congress. The result is the newly emboldened House GOP majority that for the first time in years is able to capture and utilize the vast power of sticking together rather than disassembling into chaotic rounds of public infighting, and leaving Democrats in the minority in the House and Senate shifting to rapidly respond. The story the Democrats have leveraged to their advantage for years is the Republicans simply can't govern may no longer be as true as it once was. In fact, the Republicans who control Congress and the White House are governing at lightning speed over dismantling the very government itself. As if on cue, the House was acting on Tuesday. The Department of Education asked some 1,300 employees, about half its staff, on its way to unwinding the agency. The DOGE efforts and other things that are happening in the administration are very important for the American people, said Johnson in a victory lap, because ultimately what we're going to be able to do is downsize the size and scope of the federal government. The bill now heads to the Senate, where Republicans have 53 to 47 majority, and Democrats are almost powerless to stop the head-spinning series of events. This is not what the American people wants, it sent Democratic leader Chuck Schumer on Wednesday. Schumer faces politically difficult options. You either provide the Democratic votes needed to advance the bill in the 60-vote threshold needed, or veto to block it, allowing a federal shutdown after midnight. I mean, like, this is not politically difficult, right? This is not politically difficult. The answer is you don't. Screw it. Let the government shut down. Besides, like, the Republicans want this anyways, right? Like, the Republicans want to destroy the government anyways. So, like, you have nothing to fear here in this political calculus. I heard that Trump is calling them directly, the members of Congress, that is, and threatening to have Elon have an Evo Superfund them a primary opponent. The Dems are going to cave. We should start a polymarket bet on the over under of how many of one, the Democrats caving, and two, how many Democrats are going to cave. Nothing to fear. Bring on the comet. The Dems are folding. If they cave primary everybody. Oh, who do they point to fill in for Rubio into a special election? Good question. Ashley Moody, who was the DeSantis, the Florida Attorney General. $10 on all Dems. How many times have Republicans shut down the government because they weren't getting what they wanted? True. After conferring privately with the Senate Dems, Schumer announced that he would try to force a vote on a shorter 30-day bill that would temporarily fund the government while negotiations continue, but it's not all clear Republicans would agree to that, inching closer to Friday's shutdown. Lacking leverage to shape the funding package, Democrats are left to warn what Trump and Musk will do next. So anyways, the point being is that folding like a bed sheet, 7 Dems would have to fold. I wonder if a government shutdown would just make things easier for Doge. I mean, like, it's what they want anyways, so I'd say like force the issue, play chicken with them, you know? Play chicken. He can't fire people that are not on he can't fire people that are on furlough. Good point. I mean, like, even if they shut the government down, right? Like, they could still, the messaging, right? Again, like, this is if the Democrats actually want to, like, take advantage, right, and take the initiatives. They could say that this is all part of, like, the plan for them to destroy the government. and kind of just keep pinning this on Doge and whatnot. I'm negotiating with the landlords. It's all chicken. Yeah, boop the like button and subscribe. Doge is shutting the government down anyways. Yeah, and just kind of keep pushing that narrative. Because it's true. All right, folks, it's time for me to get out of here and get some food. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the new follows. And thank you to the YouTube crew for the subscriptions. I appreciate it. Keep liking the stream. Thank you guys. You're right. Doge does take the blame while we kill Tesla stock. Elon has broken how many laws? He would totally fire someone on furlough and use their empty chair to tap into networks and change crap. The Letter Hat, good episode. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sub, thanks for the stream. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Folks, it's time for me to get out of here. I appreciate you guys being here. If you want to support the channel, there are many different ways. Sorry I couldn't chat during the shadow ban. Oh no, another victim of the shadow ban. Moanep, thank you so much. Thank you, Bad Lefty. Man in Autumn, great stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, keep doing what you're doing. Keep hitting that subscribe button, hitting the like button. And if you're on Twitch, thank you for being here. Hit that follow button if you enjoy the content. If you want to support the channel, ground level news. If you want to support the channel directly, there are several different ways of doing so. Consider checking out the merch store and hitting that exclamation mark tip button. And join the Substack. And join the Discord if you want to keep up with the channel. Remember, folks, next week, streams are going to be a little bit limited. I'll keep you guys posted on that, see what happens. Thank you, Heat, for modding the chat. Thank you, Michael Hauser, for modding the chat. I appreciate you guys being here. As always, folks, spread the word. We're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I'll be on. I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. I got rated over here by the Surfs and I by Steve Boots yesterday. Nice. I'm just me, thank you. Monday, right? Yeah, this upcoming Monday streams will be a little bit limited. This was a great stream though, really good about including chat. I try, okay? You know, the restream robot was a really good thing. Appreciate it. All right, folks, hang tight. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.